guys, I'm Ashlyn and I'm going to retry the Holy 40 challenge. I tried it like last year and you can see there's still like 2 videos on my channel, the only videos I've ever posted, where I was going to do that. I can't remember why I did not finish the challenge. However, this year I'm actually very inspired and I'm actually going to complete the challenge because some of the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm having like health issues, autoimmune related, and I actually have to go on a like little diet kind of thing to try and get my symptoms reduced. And on top of that, I'm in a PE class. I'm a senior. The fact I'm in this class is a little crazy, but I'm having to run for that anyways. So I've already got the diet portion and I have the physical activity portion. And I was like, I want to also cover like my spiritual health as well. And why not try this challenge again and just complete it this time? So I have Ashley Hetherington's Lemonade pulled up. This is, it's kind of backwards, it's mirrored, so I can't really show it to you, but I'm just letting you know I'm getting it from there. But like the rules of this little challenge is that you wake up before 8 a.m. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to more so focus on getting at least 7 hours of sleep. The second part of the challenge is to have Bible and prayer time before your phone. So like in the first hour of the day, don't touch your phone, which for me, I do have an alarm on there, but it'll mean not doing social media, not like texting, that kind of thing. So I'll use it for my alarm. I'm just like going to spend time in the Word before I do anything else. The third like goal, I'm forgetting the word. The third step is to have daily movement for 30 minutes at least. Rule number 4 is have a 15-minute prayer walk each day. Number 5 is to nourish your body with healthy whole foods. And what I liked about this challenge is that it's not like incredibly strict. You have the flexibility to decide what you're doing. And for me, that's like following the steps for this diet I'm having to go on to reduce my autoimmune symptoms. And then rule 6 is 1 hour of work for a God-sized dream. And for me, I'm not gonna allot a very specific dream because I have a lot of things. First off, I'm doing PE class and part of like my day is I have to do homework. I have to watch lectures and part of a God-sized dream is graduating. But then some days I want to do photography or even like making these videos. Like that's something that really excites me, like learning how to edit the clips and things like that. So for me, that might change each day between creative, like music related or anything. So each day I can just like let you know. That is partially why I want to do this challenge. It is almost 4 p.m. and I have been so unproductive. Yesterday I had already worked so much. Like I had babysat for like 7 hours. It's okay, it'll be better. Tomorrow, improvement is starting. But for now, I'm making coffee and then I'm going to do my Bible study. And then I'm going to journal and like write down the habits that I want to have. So I just finished my Bible study and my coffee and I already feel so much better. But I just like felt like I learned a lot in my Bible study today. Or like things that I already knew but were like verified by His Word. So I did read Psalms, like a chapter in Psalms, but then I decided I wanted to start reading another chapter because Psalms, like, it's like a very large book, and I feel like a lot of the chapters are very similar, and I've started to get a little bit tired, even though it's good words. I just got like, I felt like I needed to also read something else at the same time. But I was reading Romans chapter 1 and 2, and it basically talked about how people who are righteous with God live by faith, basically faith in Him, and how God's wrath is on the unrighteous people who are faithless, so they don't have faith in Him. And then it went on to talk about how He lets people who don't believe in Him or don't have faith in Him follow their dishonorable passions. That's what it says in verse 26. It said, "For this reason God gave them up to dishonorable passions." The reason being, they served the creature rather than the Creator, which is verse 25. But anyways, one of the dishonorable passions it talked about, it said, "For their women exchange natural relations for those that are contrary to nature." That is so clear. So clear. It says contrary to nature. And then 27 says, "And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passions for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error." So, like this is a very controversial topic, but a lot of people talk about how the Bible's not clear on LGBTQ. You have Christians on both sides, you have other people on both, like, on different sides, like, it's just, but to me, I feel like it's very clear, but also, like, we have free will, so it's God's basically saying, like, okay, you decided not to follow me, like, you're allowed to do this. So I'd say that's loving. He's giving us the option. So, like, I'm not trying to, like, hate on any of you or anyone who's walking out that lifestyle, because I just wanted to talk about what the Bible is saying. But then chapter 2, this is a big chapter that Christians need to read, because I feel like you have the two extremes. You have people who are like, no, God says that's fine, but then you have this flip side. It's like people are extremely judgmental. But chapter 2 talks about God's righteous judgment. It says, "Therefore you have no excuse, O man, every one of you who judges." Everyone who judges, okay? "And for in passing judgment on another, you condemn yourself, because you, the judge, practice the very same things." By very same things, that doesn't necessarily mean you're practicing, like, walking out LGBTQ lifestyle, but your sin is, like, the same levels, because chapter 1 didn't just talk about LGBTQ, it talked about gossip, slanders, all kinds of things. Anyways, so if you're a Christian and you're judging those who are walking that lifestyle, I mean, we struggle with sin all the time. Like, I gossip, I do things that I don't want to do, and I feel like it's so normalized for Christians to judge that lifestyle, and like, there's a difference between judging the lifestyle and judging the people, but a lot of Christians will judge people who walk in that lifestyle, but literally God is saying, like, you're not supposed to do that. And it talks about verse 4, "Or do you presume on the riches of His kindness and forbearance and patience, not knowing that God's kindness is meant to lead you to repentance?" Like, God's calling us out on these things so that we, like, know how to follow Him. Like, we're not supposed to be hating on anybody, and we're not supposed to be hating on especially, like, that community. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but, like, if you're curious on this topic, you should just go read Romans 1, chapters 1 and 2, because I just find it very intriguing that, like, right after it talks about it being contrary to nature, walking in the LGBTQ lifestyle, mind you, I'm saying walking in that. We all have, like, sinful like desires and stuff. So I'm specifically talking about that action of like actually following that lifestyle. Anyways, but Christians will look at that and then they won't look at chapter 2 about the part of not judging. Like, I know people who judge, and I'm like, that's not our place. It's not our place to call them out for that. Anyways, I'm just very intrigued by this because Jesus is very counterculture. And I was wanting to practice my like talking about and writing down what God taught me, which today I didn't journal it, but I like wrote it in the sidelines of my Bible. Anyways, I hope that was intriguing to you.